What's up, guys? Welcome back to Fish of Hex. My name is Travis. Today's video is going to be a brief update on the 300 gallon. More specifically, what did I break in this tank yesterday and somewhat fixed it. Now, if you follow me on Instagram or Facebook, you probably already know what's going on. I'm going to run down on that, show you guys what happened and kind of how I fixed it. And then I'm going to share with you guys this month's coral sale, since it is Black Friday month, if you want to call it that. A lot of people do sales like that. Give you guys a rundown on the coral sale and the coral giveaway, which will be taking place really early in December. And then finally, if my voice is still here, and you can probably tell it's starting to go out, we're going to talk about what changes are coming to the fish room. That is something I've wanted to do for a long time, and I'm decided I'm going to go ahead and pull the trigger on it and do it next month. So let's go ahead and start with what happened yesterday. So you guys know that I've been having a problem with this purple Montipora. You guys know that I cut it out here, starting to grow back. I got to work on that with the hunting and stuff. I haven't had time to really get in there and kill the rest of it. But long story short, the purple Monty has been growing up around the corals, killing the tort here, killing everything. And what happened is it was actually growing around the green digitata. And when I bumped into it yesterday while I was fragging the tank, it actually broke off the entire colony. I'll put a picture up now of how big it was, which sucks. I was able to go in here and cut a lot of that purple Monty out. You can see it's on the bottom here. And was able to replace a little bit of that colony back in its place. Now, it's still a giant gap missing from the tank, but it is what it is. It's better than having nothing there. Hopefully it will fill back in and do really well. I'll show you guys that colony. You guys can see, I mean, this is the low boy. This is the rest of the colony here. Basically, that's just going to be a grow out that I'm going to frag from. I can't put it anywhere in the tank, and I already have a ton of green. You can't even see there's so much damn coralline. Ton of green digi already, so there's no reason to even frag any more of it. So yeah, that will be a new colony that will go into our extended system, which I'll talk about here in a second. I'm messing with the camera. Other than that, the tank is doing pretty well. I have a little bit of STN on my FishOfHex Millie, which has been there for about a month or so when I had the salinity problem. It's basically just shading itself out. I have another colony of it down here which is doing the same thing. Just not enough light. Even though it's up top there, it's still shading itself out. And that's just part of the game at this point. Managing the corals within this tank so they don't kill themselves too quickly. Anyways. Now, one thing I want to mention briefly before we move on to the sale is a lot of you guys, and don't take this personal, this is for my true fans because they're the ones saying this. I want to make sure I'm pretty clear about you know, my thought process on this. A lot of you guys think that it's impossible to have a beautiful tank. Some people think that this tank is really ugly. Some people think it's so-so. I think it's so-so. And some people think it's the best thing they've ever seen in their lives. I mean, I've seen a whole range of comments. I see everything that you guys say. I'm not always able to reply. And I'll tell you right now, this tank is, you can get this no matter what your level is within the hobby. If you're just starting out or you've been here for 20 years, 30 years, whatever, you are capable of growing a tank just like this, if not better. You just simply have to decide if you want it bad enough. You just have to be able to put the time in and the effort in to be successful. Now, when I get people messaging me saying, or getting down on themselves, clear my throat because there goes my voice, sound like I freaking lost my puberty or whatever, damn. Anyways, for those of you who message me saying, getting down on yourself, saying, hey, I'm never going to be able to grow coral like that, and then they usually follow it up with a compliment or something like that for me, and you know, I appreciate that because I know you guys really support the channel and you like, you know, you love the tank or whatever, and you know, I appreciate that stuff, but understand that it's something that anybody can attain. You can have this. It's nothing special, okay? It's something that you could have. You just have to be willing to put the time in, and that's why I create the content. That's why we have 500 videos. So hopefully it won't take you guys as long as it took me to be able to get through my issues. Now, I haven't been in the hobby very long, or at least the saltwater side. I've talked about this before. I started freshwater really early in my teens, did that for a while, did saltwater for a very, very, very short period of time, I think a couple months, way back, and then just walked away, and then I came back 5 years ago and said, hey, I'm going to be good at this. No matter what I do, I'm going to be good at it, and this is the result. So anybody can do it. Anybody can do it. It's that simple, and I just want you guys to keep that in mind. I appreciate you guys saying the things that you say, but just understand they're not necessary. You don't have to do that. All right, so that's my take on the 300 and all that stuff. So let's go to move on to the coral sale. Now, from the spirit of Black Friday, a lot of companies are doing this. I have a coral sale going on from the 9th of November to the 29th. And when it comes to the sale, here goes my voice again. When it comes to the sale, it's going to be the usual like I do every year. So buy 5 frags from either my 300-gallon or my imported system. If you buy 5 frags, you'll be able to get one free. Now, I'm going to put up some video overlay here. The free one, you'll be able to choose from my imported system. Oh, man. From my imported system. And it's basically the miscellaneous tab. Sorry, I'm trying to get the video good while I'm trying to talk here. You'll be able to select any free coral you want from the miscellaneous tab. You can either reply to the confirmation email with what one you want. It's pretty simple. So just check out with 5 or more frags. You'll get one for free, and that will be added to the notes and shipped out. Now, on top of that, I am doing a coral giveaway. If you buy 3 or more frags, again, from either system, you'll be automatically entered to win the 5-pack You Pick coral. So that means from now into the 29th, if you buy 3 or more frags, you'll be entered to win basically by the order number. I don't want to put people's names out there. So by the order number, and then I'll do a drawing on the 2nd of December, and then that will pick the random order number. And at that point, that person, I'll contact them, and you can pick any 5 frags you want from the 300. I'll cut them, heal them, and ship them out to you for free, anywhere in the United States. And there goes my voice again. Got to finish this video up before I'm done. So that's going on to the 29th. I will pick the winner of that via YouTube, not post on Instagram, Facebook, you know, yada, 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 on the 2nd of December, and they'll ship it out within 2 weeks, because of course it has to heal unless you pick something that's already healed in the frag tank, and that way I'll just ship it out as soon as you're ready for it. So that's the sale this month. Appreciate it. I already went ahead and lowered the prices significantly on the website. Not a ton of stuff, but it kind of ties into our next thing, and that is the imported frag system. And this thing's probably just going to buzz around and be super blurry while I'm talking. So, as I mentioned in my previous video, I really don't like importing coral. I just don't like it. A couple reasons. One, the pests. Pests are just something that you deal with regardless of multiple dips. Like I do a Bayer dip when it comes in, and then I do Coral RX. I cut off everything. I try to get rid of frag plugs. I mean, I do my best to get rid of pests. But occasionally something comes in, like an Aiptasia or a flatworm. It just comes in. That's part of importing coral. Now, I don't have the facilities or the ability to quarantine the amount of coral that I sell from my imported system. I just can't do it. And if I did, my prices sure to hell wouldn't be as low as they are. I just can't do it. So when you buy stuff from the imported system, there's always a risk, just like with anybody else. Even though I go out of my way to make sure that I eliminate those pests before they get in there, there's always a chance, and I sound like a little girl right there for a second. There's always a chance that something's going to get there. So it's not like the 300 when I have no issues with that tank. There's nothing that you're going to get. Yes, I have verminted snails on the rocks, but none of them ever get on the frag plugs, and none of them ever get on the coral. They can't. And that's something that we're going to eradicate when we set up our new system, and we'll talk about that, you know, whenever the heck that happens. But when it comes to pests, that's the biggest problem I have with imported coral. I don't like it because I spend all this time creating content for you guys. So let's look at this tank, because the frag system's ugly as shit. I spend all this time creating content so you guys can have knowledge to be successful. So why the heck would I sell coral even with the slightest chance that there might be something on it that could cause you a problem? That just seems so messed up in my head, and right now, I can't do it anymore. I put in my last order, and you guys, I talked about that. What's in that tank is it. When it's gone, it's gone. It's never coming back. I'm not doing any more stuff like that. It's not happening. So basically, as of December 1st, I am no longer an LPS guy or have any LPS. I'm strictly SPS. And there's going to be, I'm almost at 10 minutes. So I'm going to start this video because it's going to shut off at 10, so I got to start it again. So hopefully I catch it and I'm not talking for freaking 3 minutes. So basically, as of December, I'm going to be just in-house coral. How that's going to work is I'm actually going to connect both of these low boys to the 300. Now, I'm going to be changing out the lighting. A quick rundown. Already sold 2 of the 3 AP700s yesterday. The third one's going to Mike, which is our veteran who is getting the veterans build, which is happening on December 14th. Really excited about that. You guys will see a whole video on that. Going to Ohio. It's going to be awesome. Really just freaking excited about that. These AP700s are already sold. They're shipping out today. And I'm going to be raising them up a couple inches, putting... Oh.
A few moments later.
Pretty stoked that I caught that, like mid-sentence though. So here comes the tap. Okay. So I am going to be raising up the tanks about 3 inches because I'm replacing these AP700s with two XR15s. You guys know that I have them over the 300. And the reason why I'm doing that is not because the AP700s are not what I'm looking for, but this setup right now is made for LPS. Any acros I put in this tank have not gotten the color that I want, strictly because they're not getting enough light. The way this is set up is this takes care of the 4-foot tank, but it's not enough light, not for what I'm looking for. I mean, they're coming out of 500, 600 par. I'm not going to throw them in a $150. They're just not going to do well. It's just not going to happen. So if I can keep them between the 350 and 550 range, they're going to do very well. So I'm going to bring these tanks up for 2 reasons. One, so I can get a little bit more penetration with those two XR15s. And the second reason is I need the bottom tank to be high enough so it can drain all the way over to the 300 and get into the return section without having any issues with it not being high enough. All right, so I'm going to raise them up about 3 inches, and then I'm going to get rid of the refugium, get rid of the sump. I'm going to be fixing that area a little bit, and I'm putting in 2 bio cubes, which will be my quarantine tanks for corals that are coming in that we'll talk about here in a second. So raising the tanks up, basically adding new lights, connecting everything to the 300-gallon. So what am I doing with the low boys? Well, basically, they're going to be strictly colony grow outs. I have custom-made 3-inch circular frag disc with a little hole in the middle, which will allow me to put a piece of coral or a frag of an acro. And I'm just going to line both of these tanks up front to back with these discs, and I'm just going to grow colonies. It's going to be full of colonies, and that's all I'm going to use it for. And then when the colony gets big enough, there goes my voice. When the colony gets big enough to frag, I'll take it over to the saw, cut off frags that I want from it, and then they'll heal, and then they'll go up into the WYSIWYG on the website. So that's the process. And what's good about this is it allows me to expand my acropores, how many I have. And I have 3 guys that are local that are hardcore, beautiful acropora tanks, and they have some really high-end stuff, and everybody's willing to make a deal. So I'll be able to get some really nice stuff in, grow it out. Of course, it's going to take time to grow these colonies out. Probably not a ton of time, but enough to justify me losing a little bit of money in this whole process. But sometimes you got to take a couple hits to be successful long term, and that's exactly what I'm going to do over the next few months while this system is kind of working itself. So changing everything, adding 2 quarantine tanks to the left, which you can't see, which is right here. We're going to add 2 quarantine tanks. Those are going to take care of acros, because I like to order big pre-made frags of acropora. And then those, of course, have to go in quarantine. We're doing a 2-month quarantine of all acros, and the reason why I got 2 of those quarantine tanks is because I want to make sure if I want to get 2 orders at 2 different times, I'm not just going to add acros to a already established quarantine tank that has, say, 4 weeks in it. I'm not just going to add a new acro, because that starts the whole quarantine tank process over. So I'll have 2 tanks, and I can add in multiple orders, and I can kind of have different timelines. So it's going to work out pretty good. If I have to add more quarantine tanks, I will. So that's a quick rundown on that. This is something I've been wanting to do for a while. There's my voice again. And I think with time, it's really going to expand my ability to sell coral. And I want my reputation to be such as I provide pest-free, healthy, encrusted, beautiful acros or other SPS that you can trust. That's what I want. I want to be at a low price, because even though I'm growing it out, I am investing money in growing it, but it's not like my margins are definitely going to be a little bit better than importing coral. On top of that, I don't have to pull stuff out of the ocean. I'm not killing things. It's all in-house. It's just going to take a little bit of time to get it established. So my voice is officially jacked up. This cold is almost gone, but apparently it's still lingering. So that's about it for the video. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll put a link to all this stuff in the website. And thanks in advance for the support. I'll see you guys next week. All right? Peace.